Welcome to the home for the Tentative Yogi. I teach yoga from the foundation up so that you can learn it safely and enjoy it for years to come. In this video, I actually want to give you a little bit of an anatomy lesson for something that we talk about a lot in yoga, the sit bones, or the sits bones as some people call them. What are they? Why do we care? So the sit bones are actually the ischial tuberosities. Okay, they're part of the muscle and or part of the bone in your pelvis, and they are the bones at the very bottom. They're actually nodules. They look a little bit like this, and they are what you can feel right at the base of your pelvis, right where you're sitting. So we want to be on top of them. And the beauty of the ischial tuberosities, or your sit bones, is they do tell you where your pelvis is. Okay, so our pelvis is part of our spine. What I mean by that is the sacrum, the base of our spine, the sacrum and the coccyx, actually join in with the pelvis, right? So the alignment of the pelvis affects the alignment of the spine. As you tuck the pelvis under, it rounds the lower back, which affects all the alignment above, right? And as you tip the pelvis forward and arch the lower back, it again affects everything on all the way up, all of our alignment. So we cannot effectively align our torso without paying attention to our pelvis. And in fact, that's where it begins. So knowing your sit bones and feeling the alignment on your sit bones is crucial to aligning the entire spine in seated positions. Okay, so what I want to do is share with you a quick exercise you can do in your own practice to kind of play with it. So you're going to use a block, and frankly, the harder the block, the better for this purpose. This one's kind of squishy, but it still works. And if you can come into Virasana, which is essentially sitting between your feet, this is the best position to be in. But if you can't, you can certainly do this with your legs in front and crossed, or out in a bent knee. Don't go straight leg dandasana, bend the knees, because you can really feel more movement in the pelvis. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Coming up on the block, I want you to actually feel your sit bones, and definitely do this with me if you're able. Otherwise, you can remember it for the next time you're on your yoga mat. And you can really feel the bones. Then what I want you to do is just rock back and forth a little bit so you can really feel them. Okay, now we want to find the aligned place. And in this position and on all fours are the only two positions where the pelvis is really free to rock and move around. It's not being pulled in any one direction. So if you've got cross-legged and your legs are out to the side, it's going to be pulled out to the sides, right? It's going to have a little tension. If you have your legs out, your hamstrings are going to be pulling on it. So this or table position is a great place to play with this. This one's nice because you can really feel the bones on the pelvis. Okay, so now what I want you to do is find what you consider to be alignment. Okay, so find that spot. And then very slowly keep the shoulders in place. You're just going to tip the pelvis forward. So you're not tipping the whole body, just the pelvis. So you're increasing the arc in the lower back, and you'll feel tension in the lower back. And then you're going to go back and you're going to round. So again, shoulders stay steady. You're just rolling back and forth on the sit bones, going back and forth. So as you roll back, you'll feel the abdominals begin to grip. Can you feel that? And then come back through the center, and you'll find a soft spot where everything kind of relaxes. Then you'll go the other way and feel hardness. Now, do that a couple more times. You're also going to notice what feels natural. So I am a forward pelvis kind of girl. So when I go forward, I'm like, yeah, that's aligned. But it's not, because I feel all of this tension in my back. But that tension feels normal because that's what I'm used to, right? So you want to begin to move beyond what feels normal, what feels aligned, and begin to open your mind to the possibility that there's better alignment, because there always is. Okay, so then you're going to slowly slow it down and find that middle spot. And there could be still a range that feels really good. It's like I don't have one spot, there's a range, but that range will get smaller and smaller the more you do this. I call that the sweet spot, by the way, the sweet spot on your sit bones. And what this means is now you've aligned all the way up over the sit bones, and it's usually very calming. Now, it might not be initially because you are also overcoming, if you're used to being here or if you're used to being here, the muscles might be saying, what the heck? So give it time if it feels uncomfortable and just gently keep bringing the body back into this aligned place. I like to play with this when I'm sitting. When you're sitting, it's actually a pretty good time too, when you have your knees at 90 degrees and your hips at 90 degrees. So if you're sitting in a hard chair, the pelvis is pretty free there too, and you can play with it and just begin to allow your body to feel good in that aligned space. Isn't that wonderful? So good. All right. Now, then this is what you want to bring into any of your seated poses, right? Finding that sweet spot so your body is aligned, and then your body can really just exhale. It's so good. All right. I hope this helps you with your seated poses and helps you get into a deeper alignment, having a deeper conversation, if you will, with an aligned body. There's no such thing as perfect alignment, but you can always get a little bit closer, and this is a really powerful tool to have. All right, if you enjoyed this, give it a like, if you will, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and enjoy this tip. Enjoy it in your practice. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.